Alrighty, good day. So so we are going to be building some UIs in Combine, and then one of the many reasons I'm recording this build is for our front end team and potentially people who will join to hopefully pick up a thing or two from maybe some approaches I will use in building and to make things quicker, because one goal or one first goal for the front end team is to really move quick, really move quick. So speed is kind of going to be our one priority, especially for now. And then over time, we would also mix that with other important factors to consider. So hopefully, this build teaches some approaches. So we are going to build the pricing page for an example for this build, which is quite a simple UI in terms of implementation. Nothing too fancy, so it should be a quick build. And so let's begin. Let me zoom in just so that it makes things more visible for all of us. So this UI, we realize we have a navigation here, then this content, very small content, and then this is kind of like the footer, because if you look at other pages, it's kind of duplicated on all those pages. That's this nav and then this footer. The same thing for the contact page, the same thing for the pricing page, the same thing for the about page. So what that tells us is once you have these things as separate components, you can just code them up somewhere. Then just focus on building this content within the kind of like embedded within the nav and footer, and then you just for them. So we are just going to focus on just this portion, and then the nav and footer will be a separate component. So with just this portion, let's get going without wasting much time. So first, we open our code base. We are currently using it's a Next.js code base, and we are using the NX monorepo. You can read more about NX from nx.dev. It's a monorepo architecture for this number of pages. So you can click on why NX to kind of understand why we are going with the NX approach. If you have if you don't already know what NX is, that is. So let's just get going. So this is a Next.js repo, and let me serve up the code base. So with NX, you type NX serve and then the name of the app. So this app, we call it website. So once you enter that, it will tell you where it is loading it on. So it is already in use because I've already saved the app, and I didn't quit it. So let me just quit it and do everything fresh. So let me just start everything fresh. So we have the code base here, NX serve website, and right. So it says come ready on localhost 4300. And just a little tip, if you want to change the port number in case you have other ports, you just open project.json file, look for this serve key, and add a new parameter in the option. So you have something like this by default. So you just add a comma, add in the port number you want, and save it, and that's all. So let's open this port to see what we have. So right, so this takes you to the landing page, and then this takes you to the landing page, and then we are going to be building the pricing page on this. Let me just open the landing page. This is the entry page. So we are going to be building the pricing page on this route, which is /right routing. And now it says no, this page could not be found. So you can confirm with me that this page literally has nothing, and we are going to start the build. So this is the landing page, and then we click here to go to the pricing page, and it says this page could not be found. So let's begin. So with the code base, let me open an additional terminal window for any extra stuff. So this watches for changes and recompiles here, and then this is for any things we may need to do. All right. So with Next.js, if you want to create a new route like this route pricing, sorry, you just create a new file with that name, pricing, call it pricing.jsx, which is like more like a React extension. It's helpful to use JSX because depending on the code editor you use, sometimes it gives you some default like autocomplete features because you are specifying the extensions. I'm going to write pricing.jsx here, and let's reload and see. Now it says the default export is not a React component because we don't have any code here, so we definitely expect this error. So we have to create a React component and export it. So usually I just pick up an existing code, something, and then paste it in here. But if there is nothing, let's just code everything from scratch. So um, there are a number of helpful extensions to have. One is React. If you are using VS Code, that is, you just type React. Let me type Next.js and see something. Okay, Next.js snippet. Okay, I don't need it. I just need React snippets. So just React. You see some React snippets here. So I have this one installed. No, this is not even the one I'm looking for. Hold on. I think ES6. It's called ES6 something. Oh, come on. Anyways, I think this snippet is probably still useful nonetheless. Or it was updated, I don't know, but okay, let's skip without it, but I think this snippet would do the job. So just type in RAFCE to create a like it gives you like a default React template sort of to create. Then you can continue building. And then with NX, one helpful extension to have is to just type NX here. It's called NX console, so it's helpful to install it. It really helps to generate a lot of things for you easily. And let me even use it to generate this template in so that we don't stress to do it ourselves. So I'll click on the NX console. This is where is it? Yeah, this is where are you? Okay, this is it. Okay, because I zoomed out, so I'm not seeing it. Okay, so now we can see here NX console. Let me zoom back in. So I click on NX console here, click on generate, type page. So it says here create a Next.js page component. I click on it. Then I choose pages. So I choose the component name. So let me call it pricing. Hopefully to override the one I typed. Choose website. That's the name of the app. And create under the pages directory, of course. And then for the file extension, let me just do styled components and then just click on run. Okay, so it even creates a folder for us, a TypeScript template for us to use. And I think I would have gone with the TypeScript approach if we didn't have to do this quickly. So because we want to move fast, let me switch and use a JSX approach. So let me change this from TypeScript to JavaScript. No test for this one, and just click on run. And also let me make this flat so that it doesn't create a folder, and click on run. And now we should have, yes, we should have this. Good. So perfect. So I just delete this one now, change this to JSX, delete this folder as well. So these are all real-time decisions being made. There is no pre-planning, just so that you can have a feel for how things work, like in real time. And if you realize, once I save this, the moment I saved this, it kind of automatically formatted it for me. And that's because I went to preferences, and then I went to settings, and then for the workspace settings, I did format on save to true, this one. So I check this on. So anytime I save the file, it automatically spaces it out for me, which is really cool. So now let's go back to the pricing page, and it says, "Welcome to pricing." Good, awesome. So let's go back to what we are building, which is this. So just test. this component here, then these three cards. Good. So let me put this. Okay, good. So let me. All right. So welcome to pricing. Good, good, good. So there are two approaches. There's an approach I usually use, which I did for the landing page. I built all the different sections as components. So we have the nav, the hero, the features, everything as a component, and then I just called in the component. It makes it very neat. I really like making things organized and neat, and as little code as possible in every component or every file, so that it's easy to maintain over time. So I think I'm going to use the same approach for this one. But since this doesn't have many sections like the landing page does, it won't be so many components. So this can probably be maybe a heading. Okay, actually, this won't even be a component. This can just remain on this page. Then this can be a component. Then the cards can be a component. So let's begin. So let me just copy this text here. So pricing design for skill. Okay, it's changed now. Let me go here to check some of the details about that file. Okay, so we will do the styling a little bit later. For now, let me just paste the content here. Okay, good. And that is basically it. So for the type, there are two approaches. Either for every text you add the styles here, which although works, it's a total waste of time in my opinion. So for example, I can just say, and also I'm using styled components. Okay, I should have spoken about that as well. So I'm using styled components in this build, as you can see. But then there are so many approaches. So you can use Tailwind, you can use modules, you can use a CSS or a SAS compile system, like so many things. But I usually prefer styled components for my builds because for me it's really quicker because you get to see the styles and then everything in real time. And one beautiful thing about styled components is it adds vendor prefixes for you. So let's inspect the code. So for example, if I had a display flex here, sorry, display flex here, and I save it, with start components, you can see that I type display flex here, right? But in the rendered code, you see it adds display flex, MX flex box, WebKit flex, WebKit box. These are what we call vendor prefixes, which means if my page is viewed by someone using a Firefox browser or a Safari browser, for instance, and maybe the browser is not updated to support certain features of CSS. Because of these vendor prefixes, it allows them to be supported. So that's for me, that's one beautiful thing I like about style components and why I like to use them. In addition to the fact that you get to see your code in real time, and there are so many cool benefits of styled components as well, which I would hopefully demonstrate in this build. Okay, so this is one approach to styling the stuff. Another approach is to create a central type system file, which I have done. So I just inspected all the types, all the fonts for the landing page here, and then I just created a type system around it. So every paragraph has a font size of 16 and 24. So I did that, and so I'm going to use that approach. So here, this is an H2, right? So this is the type system. So we have a type for heading, a type for H1, a type for H2. So this is H2, meaning the font size is 36. So as you can see here, H2 font size 36 on devices 768 and above, line height 1.22. It says here 44 or 1.22, 122%, which is 1.22. Also for line height, I prefer using this relative unit than specifying the font size like 44 pixels, because in previous apps I've built in the past, usually when by mistake some styles override the font size. So maybe some style may override this font size to be maybe 50 px, and you've hard coded the line height to be 44 px. You realize that the font really looks terrible, and I don't want that. So it's better to use relative units so that whatever font size this is, it just scales it. So that is what we have here. So to use this type system, we just go import I've used it in a previous page. So let me just copy and paste the code here. So just go to import all as type. So I'm going to import everything from this file. Hold on. Okay, yeah, it will work. I just have to change the directory I'm using. So I'm in pages now. So I'll go out of pages and then I'll enter type. So this takes me out of pages, and then I enter. Okay, I think I'm still not out of pages. Oh, I am. Hold on. Okay, so I have to go out of pages, enter into components, then type. Okay, so that is what we import it now. Okay, so good. So it's imported now. So I'm going to call everything I need from this file by first adding type. So I need h2, right? So I've called this type here. So I'm just going to change this to, and I pressed control. Okay, let me zoom in more. Oh, sorry, not zoom out, zoom in. Let me bring this down to give us more space. Okay, so I hope this makes it visible. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit more. Oh, this is too much. Okay, so I hover over this and I press. If you're using a Mac, Command D on your keyboard. If you're using a Windows, I think that's Control D. If it's not Control D, it will be Alt D. So then change this to type dot h2, right? So this is no longer needed. Then I command save, and because I have format on save, it will automatically space out the code and good. So let me inspect and see. We have 36 exactly. So that's perfect. And let's go back to our UI. So this is a paragraph as well. So we check the type file. Do we have a paragraph? The font size is 16, right? So let me just search for 16. Okay, so 16 we have P, that's paragraph, large and regular. Okay, so this is large, is regular. Okay, so this should come here. So I'm even making updates to that file in real time. So paragraph regular, paragraph large. Okay, good. So we need paragraph regular, which is this. So we come here as well, type dot regular, copy that, same thing for here, and this has changed. Now we realize that the color is different. The color is 668 something something, and let's go here. We have, I created a variable for our colors, just to make it easy to keep in mind. So this is gray. Okay, so gray. Okay, gray. So in the type file, okay, so gray. Gray text, like gray text. So I also took the liberty to create a utilities, how do I call it, a utilistic CSS, where for every color that has been written here, for all these colors that I just saved, it just creates like utility classes where if I add maybe the name of the color with hyphen text, it just gives it a text color. It's like a CSS SaaS update that makes things scalable. So once I add gray hyphen text, I get the text to be gray. So let me inspect that, and we have the text the same color. Okay, good. So what else? So we have the text here. Now let's just check the spacing. So the spacing between this and this is 16 pixels. So I just add a class name here, give it a MB4. I mean, if you have conversant with Bootstrap, this should be simple because I'm using Bootstrap. I'm importing Bootstrap here. So I imported the Bootstrap CSS, so I can use some of the Bootstrap styles to make things more quickly as well, which is one step that really helps. So to do that, you just go to your terminal, do where is Bootstrap? Just do yarn install Bootstrap or yarn install bootstrap or npm install bootstrap. I prefer yarn because what yarn does is if you've already installed that package before, it just checks your cache for you and then makes the download or install very, very quick. So I really like to move fast as much as I can. So usually some of these tools and approaches make that possible. So once I save that, I check here and we have, so you see, I've even forgotten the calculation. It says here margin of 24, which is not what we want, right? We want, okay, hold on. I want to zoom in a little bit more. Okay, it says margin of, oh, come on. Get out of here. Hey, good. So it says margin of 24, but I want margin of 16. So that means the MB4 is not what I need. So probably MB3. Let me zoom in more. Probably MB3. And let me check what we have now. So it says 16 here now, if you can see it. It says 0016. So that's what we want. All right, good. So we have the spacing. Now we just need to center align it. So that's quite simple. Just text center, right? So because everything is in a styled components wrapper, any style I add here applies to it. So just text align center. Good. Or I could go the bootstrap approach and just do text center. I probably will skip some of these little teachings because I need to move fast and do this quickly. So yeah, so I can do the class text center, or I can just type it in the start component, which is the approach I'll use for this one. So I just get it. So the spacing between this and then the nav is 64, right? So 64 pixels, and then the spacing between this and then the footer is 64 as well. So let me add that here. So padding 64 px and then 0, meaning top and down 64, left and right 0. So we have it spaced out neatly. Good. So things are coming in place. Then the spacing between this and this is 32. So let me call this text container. Okay, so this thing you're seeing me doing is called Emmet abbreviation. Like it comes by default with VS Code, but anytime you type maybe dot, it's called Emmet, right? Anytime you type dot, it means you can't type a class. So you can just type in the class name, and then when you press enter, it automatically creates a div for you with that class name, right? So I just typed dot test container and then enter, and it created that for me. So I'm going to copy all of this code by highlighting over it and using option on my MacBook, option and then the up arrow key to drag it or move it into it. I think on Windows it's Alt or Control or something. So just look for the window version and then save. So I'll put everything in the test container just so that I can space it out. So here we have 32, right? So the class is test container. So I come here, class test container, margin bottom of 32. So let me save that. And we have, okay, good. We have the margin bottom of 32. I think for, just so that this style doesn't get copied by other things within this wrapper, I'm going to scope the text align center to the test container. Yes, so I've done that. It's still the same. And okay, so I'm going to call this component toggle, right? Price toggle or something. But duration toggle. I don't know. Like, let me just, so price toggle. So okay, you know what? Just so we move fast, I'm going to do everything within this page. And then probably after, if there's time, I'll just move it into different components for maintainability sake. But yes, let me just do it right here. So the price toggle, right? So let me create a new start component for it. And I love prefixing start components with the word start so that it helps to know, like, to maintain it in the future. If you have like a consistent pattern for naming your stuff, it really, really helps. So that's what I'm going to do. Give me a moment, let me check if the recording is going on as expected. Okay, it seems like it is. Okay, so I'm going to call this styled pricing. Okay, it's even here, styled toggle or something like that. Styled toggle. Let me just move. Oh, sorry. Let me just remove this. Styled toggle. Okay, so I'm going to call it styled toggle, and I'm going to reference that here. And then the text is what? Build monthly. Let me inspect what type of text. Okay, so this is a paragraph, right? So there is medium. I don't think I have. Okay, this is small. Okay, so type dot small, right? And then I paste it here, and then this is also small. Okay, so I paste that here. I just duplicate this by pressing shift option on my MacBook, shift option, and then just press the down arrow, or up arrow. It will just duplicate it for you. So I think the Windows equivalent is shift and alt, or shift and control. You can try either one of those. So this says Bill Yale, right? Then I save that, and we have it here. Good. Not looking neat, which is fine. I think this can also be text align center. So let me see if that, yes. So okay, so this is the margin bottom of text too. So because this is already spaced from the top, we don't need to add this padding in the margin. Okay, the margin bottom we may need it. Let's see. So the spacing between this and then the thing down there is 64 pixels. So 64 pixels, 64 px. Okay, so good. Look, coming together little by bit. Bit by bit. Okay, good. So now we're just going to style this to look like it should look. So it has a background color of this, right? And it has a border radius of 6 px. So you can easily just copy this. Yeah. Save it, and it looks like it should look. Just that it's kind of it fills the full width, which is fine. So we just check the width of this, and with Figma you just click on it, look at the width here. It says 259. And one useful thing is to just approximate to the nearest whole number usually, because sometimes the designers are moving too quickly that they may not have time to be pixel perfect and move it to the next px. So you just do it yourself. So it has a width of 260, right? It has a height of 44. So let me give it a width of 260 px, and then a height of, okay, the height, it doesn't need to be added for now. Usually when you specify height, it's a bad practice because you never know, some content might expand to go beyond the height, and it will just make it look weird. So sometimes just leave the height unspecified for the items within it to just give it the height. So here we see there's a padding of 12 on this, and then there's a padding of 4 on this. So I'll use the highest components to give it the padding. So this is 4. And then what else? And also, whenever you give something a width and it is centered in the middle, you have to add a margin left and right of auto. So let me just do that. Margin left of auto, margin right of auto. And once again, I'm duplicating this by using shift option and then the bottom key, the down key. On Windows, it's probably shift control or something. So once I do this, it will move it to the middle. Good. And then let me add a padding of 4. Padding of 4. Because the padding is all around, right? Padding of 4 all around. Good. So here is 16. We'll get to that, but padding of 4 all around. Good. So it's coming together little by little. Now we realize that this and this are aligned side by side. And in CSS, the way to achieve this is to use a display flex to align things side by side. So we are going to do just that. So this is style toggle. We are going to call this let's see, what do we call this? Let's see, what do we call this? Okay, so let me call this style toggle, and then call this style toggle option, right? option. So this is called the BEM naming convention, which is hold on. Okay, this is called the BEM naming convention, which is the parent element, the parent class, and then the child items would have an underscore underscore. So it's just, you can read up on it. It's just a coding convention that makes working in teams very efficient and consistent. So you can check the site to read more about it. Yeah, so it's just an approach. It's not like a deal breaker or anything if you are not comfortable with it. It's just an approach to like having a conventional pattern when working in teams. So BEM block element modifier. All right, so once we have that, I'm going to now do a display flex on this. So display flex, right? Save that, and they are now styled side by side. Good, good. So let me just confirm the width is as expected. Good. So so it looks like the active selection always has this thing around it, right? It has this like appearance, if I should call it that way. So let me just, for the purpose of this book, let me just give this a class of active to indicate that is the active item, right? And then just style this. So I just click here, look at the styles. So it has a padding of this, so I can easily copy this. So so we have what styled toggle. And one beautiful thing about using the BEM naming convention is that if you're using styled components, you can easily like it makes things consistent, and you will see that in a bit. So once I've typed the parent style here, I'm just going to add the child classes with this. So this effectively means copy whatever is here and append it to it. So this would, when this is rendered, it will render as styled toggle underscore option, which we have here, right? But with dojo that is just use an ampersand. So I just paste this here. Okay, hold on. Okay, so all of this is just for the active class, right? So for the option, let's see. Okay, yes, it applies. So because this is a padding of 12 as well. Okay, so it applies to everything. So this means top bottom 8, left right 12. So let me save that and see what we have. Good. You see it's coming together. So yes, we have it here. And let me see. Is it just me, or it doesn't look like it should? I don't know why. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, I'm not giving it the color. Okay, good. So I'm not giving it the color, right? So let me just check my variables again. The color is called gray. So this gray text applies to this as well. So class name, gray text, right? Then class name, gray text, save that. And good, coming together now. Let me see, the font size is 14, line height is 20. Let me confirm that font size is 14. Line height is 18 here. Wow, that's not what we want, right? We want line height of 20. Let me see, line height of 20. Okay, so let me go back into my type file and look for small. So line height 20. Let me just update that and come back to, okay, looks better now. Right, so it's coming together. So now for the active class, we have let me see, that the border radius. Yeah, I did. So for the active class, we have for the active class, we have all of these two styles, right? Once again, the height doesn't really have to be specified, else it constrains your element. So just use paddings to let it give it the height. Don't really specify a height. And worst case scenario, if you have to specify a height, make it a main height, not a height. Else, if the content becomes larger than the height, it won't, like, it will look very terrible. Trust me. So since you may be comfortable with SAS, which you probably should if you are at Combine. Once you do this, it just makes it it means it should pick whatever is here and append it as an additional class. So it means like it should have these two classes within that element, right? So the class is active. So for the active, give it these features. And okay, coming together. Let me check the variable for this color. It really helps to use variables so that if anything changes, yeah, it's like it skills that change across the page, right? So var blue, which is a CSS way of specifying CSS variables. Let me see if so this one. So once you create this root element that I've created here, it's a CSS way of creating root variables. Once you create them, you just call them by using var and then underscore, sorry, var, then open brackets, dash, dash, then the name of the color. So blue is here. So blue is here, right? Blue is here. Yes, so that's CSS root variable. So it looks like it's coming together, but the color is white, right? So for the active class, the color is white. So let me add that here. So the color is white. Oh, look how I did. My mind is thinking faster than my hand. My hand is thinking faster than my mind, I mean. So you have color white here. Why is it not reflecting? Let's see. It's not reflecting because we added a gray text class to it, right? Which has an importance. So it's overriding the white we are doing here. So we have to remove that class because it's not needed. We don't need the gray text on this. So let me just clear that now and it should be back to normal. Good. So aside that, let's check what else. So the width of this is 148 and the width of this is how do I even get the width of this? Let me see. Let me expand this a little bit more. Okay, so this pill is a pill, right? So it's like two pills together, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, two pills together. Oh, two pills together, but one pill is 148, and then the other pill is 10103. Meaning the active pill is always larger than the inactive pill. So let's see. What do we do? Okay, so let me just. I hate to specify weight because it usually makes things inconsistent across different browsers. So let me just give this a weight of 100. So let me test it in the browser in real time before I add it to the code, which usually most front-end developers do. Okay, so when I give it a weight of 100, this is what happens. Let's see. Is that what we want? Nope. We want the minimum width to be the least one, which is 103, right? Okay. So the minimum width should be 103. Then this one should take the rest. Okay, I think that approach is better. So we would give this a minimum width or maybe a fixed width in this case of come on, of 100 and 103, right? And then the active class will take the rest of the width, which is better. So the minimum width is 103 pixels. Wait, I didn't end it. Okay, and then let's check. Okay, good. Then the active class takes the rest. Let's see what that gives us. So width of 100%. Okay, I think this is better, right? Don't you think so? Good, good. I know I can hear you. But yeah, so it's coming. Yes, I think it's coming together neatly as we want. Looks like this is bolding. Or yes, so this is 600, right? And let's check if this is bolding as well. Okay, so this is bolding with font width of 500. Okay, so let's give the option element a font width of 500, and then let's give the active class a font width of 600. Okay, so it's coming together neatly, it seems. Why does this look too bold? It's weird. Font width of 600. Font width of 600. This doesn't look like it should look in the design. Or it's just my eyes. Let me see. What the font? The font family is Inter. Let's check. Is it Inter here? Yes, it's Inter. So why doesn't it look like expected? Anyways, and one weird thing I realized is like the inter font doesn't look the same in the design like it does after I imported it, because for example, see how this A is written like this? Oh, let me see if I can draw online to draw online, just in case I need it. Oh, I've used a certain tool before, I've forgotten the name. Okay, let me just use Sketch. So look at how the yearly is spelled, right? And we have, okay, good. Hey, look at my handwriting. Okay, so this is the A, right? This is how the A looks like. This is the A. This is the A. But in the imported one, the A looks like this, which is totally not what I would expect or want. My PC has frozen for some reason, so give me a moment to recover. Okay, I think we are back. Good. I think we are back. Good, good, we are back. Yeah, it froze for a moment. So this the A we get is this type of A, which is not what we want, but that one I'll look into it later, right? So how do I clear everything on this bloody screen? Okay, it's not important. Let's just continue. So let me refresh. I think the width. Okay, I didn't specify the width in here, so let me specify it now. Width of 100%, right? Usually, it's a good practice to use things like percentage and relative units over phase units. Trust me, especially when it comes to front end, you never know what could go wrong. So I think this looks like it has come together neatly, right? Okay, good. Now the next thing is let's see. Looks like this is test align center, or let me make it text align left. Yes, it's text align center, which is not what we want. Yeah, because we want it to just align with the padding here, which is 12 pixels. Let's confirm that. Yes, the padding is 12 pixels. As you can see, 8 and 12. Let me zoom in more, just in case you're not really seeing stuff I'm doing because I'm recording. Okay. So we need to add this, right? So let's call this maybe discount tag or something. Yeah, discount tag. So it is always with the active class, right? So there are two approaches to doing this. Either we use CSS. Yes, you can use CSS to create this. It's very beautiful. Or we hard code it in the code. So the approach to use this time. Let me just think about it for a minute. Let's see. Okay, so good. So based on the UI, right? It looks like only the yearly option has it. It's not for both of them. So I think an HTML approach is better. So let me just copy this hard coded, because from this UI, when this is toggle to yearly, this is what counts. When this is toggle to monthly, this is what counts. So let me hide everything here. And I hid everything by using command and the full stop. Or I think a Windows will be is it control? Yes, control and full stop. If it's not control, then use alt and check. Okay, so I'm going to hard code it here and call it once again. Remember the Emmet abbreviation stuff. What was I going to call it? Discount card, right? Discount tag, sorry. Discount tag, and enter, and then paste it here. And then okay, it should appear here. Good, good. Once again, you realize that this is aligned side by side, right? So always when things are aligned side by side, what to do is to use a flex or a grid. But flex in this case, because it's just a two-dimensional layout. Grid is for creating multi-dimensions. We'll get to that. So the spacing between it is 8 pixels, and it has all these styles. So I just double click to check all the codes here for this discount card or tag. And it looks like it uses the small, it still uses the small type. So okay, so let me just use the small type, and then Oh no, let me copy this here. Delete this. I don't need it. Oh, mistake. Okay. Okay. So yes. So what else? What else? What else? So the spacing between it is 8 pixels, and then it has all these styles. Okay. So this is the background. This is the border radius, right? So once again, I prefer to use paddings than specifying heights, which is what I think we should adopt in the front end team. So what do we do? Do we create it as a separate? Yes, I think we should create it as a separate. So it's in the styled toggle, all right. It's in the styled option, all right, but it's not in the active class, so that it can be used separately. So discount tag and then paste that code here. Let me check the CSS variable for this. Success 50. Okay. So var success 50. Border radius 24. Save that. And okay, it's coming together, but the color is different. So it's not looking like it should. So this is the color. The color is here. Okay, looks better now. And what else? Okay, so the padding, right? Yeah, it looks like it should. The padding. Space out. Hurry up. Okay, wait. Why is the padding not? Ah, okay. So you see some I won't call it a mistake, but it's a Figma kind of thing. So you see that there is a padding, like there's a spacing on top and below, right? But it says here that padding 0, but it says here that gap 8. So sometimes it wrongfully interprets some of the padding as gap, which is perfectly fine. But from your eyes, you can see that there's spacing above and below. So let's make this padding 8 as we have here. And oh, good. Looks like it's coming together neatly. Now let's come to the fact that it's arranged side by side, right? So it means this thing needs to be display flex. So let's come here. So it means whatever is here needs to be display flex, so that it arranges these two things side by side. So let me display flex, and then okay, it's coming together neatly, and it's organized like it's arranged on the same this thing. It's aligned. Let me show my ruler. See that it's kind of like aligned in the center, right? So in flex we have align, align item center, and good. It's coming together neatly. Now, what else? What else? What else? What else? Okay, I think this tag needs to have a specific width, because it looks like it's becoming too. Hold on, let me think for a moment. Padding is 12, right? That's why, because it wasn't looking like it should. So this should be 12 rather. Yeah, it's looking better now. I love this better. I love this better. Let's see. It doesn't look the same in my eyes. I don't know why. Let me see. Um, okay, let me take this ruler away. Okay, it's interfering. Border radius 24. Do we have do we have a border radius of 24? Yes, we do. Why doesn't it look the same in my eyes? I don't know. I just don't like how it looks. It doesn't look like how it should look. A padding of 8. Padding of 8. Padding of 8. Yeah. It doesn't look like it should look in my eyes. Hmm. I don't like this. I don't like this. It doesn't look like how it should look. I'm coming. Okay, I know why now. Okay, I know why now. I know why now. Okay, I think I know right now. So I made the padding 8, right? Because I thought the gap was making the padding 8, but I think it should be 4. So some of these now, I think they are decisions you make with your eyes, not with the Figma or the code. Okay, so it looks like I'm bolding this one, but it's not bolding. Oh, it's bolding though. So why doesn't it look? So it's bolding to 500 px, right? So what is the bolding here? Um, okay, so it's inheriting this font weight from the active class, which is not what we want, right? So we want it to be 500 and not 600. Once again, okay, good. Now it's coming together neatly. So this spacing is 8. So this styles the whole active class, right? But if I add a discount tag, I want it to give it a margin left of 8 pixels. Okay. Okay, good. It's fine. It's coming together neatly. Don't worry. We would fix that. So this is 8 pixels and this is 12. So this is 12. This is 8, right? Yes, 8. Okay, so what do we do? Okay, so there's two approaches, right? We can use a white space no wrap. That will make sure it's all on one line, right? And then another approach is to make the width a little bit more bigger. But I think I'll go with the white space no wrap approach, which works fine, right? It's on one line. Once I remove it, it makes it that's not what we want. So white space. Where do I add this? I add this to the excuse me. Okay. Yeah, no, I've just added this to the active class. I think it should be fine. Let me check how it looks on mobile for now. So far we haven't checked, but on mobile it looks good. So sometimes if you adopt best practices, it looks good whether on mobile or desktop. So that's why sometimes it's best to use best practices. Though it's not by force, it's best to use best practices. Okay, so it looks like this is not center aligning. Okay, so I added the display flex, but I didn't add an align item center, right? So let me see. I've added the okay, yes, it's aligning center now. Okay, so once I've confirmed it's working in this code editor, I can just add it in here. Where did I add the flex? Oh, hold on. I'm lost for a moment. Where did I add that? It's in the toggle. Yeah, it's in the toggle, style toggle. So here, align item center. Good. So I think it's looking as it should, right? So yeah, so we are done with these three. Let's move quickly. So I'm going to do less talking, more building now, because I think I've talked most of the time to explain things, but it's slowing me down as well. So now the cards, which is going to be the final piece, and will be done pretty soon. So we just build this card. So we just build one card, right? Then we reuse it. That is one. Then the rest is just spacing and stuff. So what do we do? So we just build the card, right? So but before then, let me go ahead and export these icons. So I click on the icon, I click on export, then I choose the SVG. Usually SVG is scalable vector graphics, which means that it doesn't really pixelate, which is sometimes preferable over PNG. The only time I would advise combined front-end team to use PNG is if SVG is really, really big, which sometimes happens. Then you use PNG because we also want to get the images to be as small as size as possible, but quality as well, so that the sites load faster. So SVG will just click on export here. Let me export these icons first. Let me confirm I'm exporting the right thing. No, I'm not. It's good I check, right? So let me click on this and check again. Once I okay, good. Looks like I'm exporting the right thing now. When I click on preview, but why wasn't it's working now? Good. And because okay, so about exporting icons, usually it's better to export like the embedded child. Else, when you export the external one, it gives some spacing around it, as you can see here, right? Spacing, which we don't want. So I'll export the embedded child item, and then click on export. Let me choose SVG. Click on export, and it exports it here. Then let me, so these icons are just repeated. So I just export one and I'm done. Then I export this other one, and then we have SVG, and then let me export that as well. So let me open my file explorer for them. Okay, so we have it here, right? So let me see. Okay, it's called, so let me call it check, and then let me paste it in the code base. So we have, it's called assets, right? In Next.js, there's this public assets file. Okay, good. Now let me call this folder pricing, so that every asset related pricing goes there. So let me copy all these pricing. Yep, I want to move it. And what else? What did I just? Rockets. Check. Okay, so the rockets as well. Yeah, so I already exported some of the icons to save time. These three icons as SVG, so we have them here, and then I've added a check. Now let me add the error one. So it's my downloads, and let me see. Okay, good. So let me call this error, and then go back to my assets, paste it here. Okay, so we have all the icons we need. Let's continue. Okay, so I don't need it now. So we have all the icons we need. Now let's just create the pricing card. So I just double click on this, click on inspect here, and look at all the styles related to the pricing card, right? So there are many approaches. One, you can just copy everything you see here and go into your code. Hold on, is it just me? The spacing doesn't look consistent. Hold on, 8 pixels up and down. Okay, it is. Then it's just my eyes playing tricks on me. Okay, so no, not this one. Okay, so this. Oh, really? Hold on. Oh, okay. So, okay, good. So, we'll come to this in a bit. Okay. So back to the code, right? So we have here our style toggle. We are done. So now we are going to create a new component called styled pricing card. We've not created it yet, but we are just referencing it for now. So it says here that it's not defined, right? Good. Don't worry, we'll create it. So with styled components, you import styled from styled components, right? That means you have to do a yarn install styled components in your repo. Then you just import styled from styled components. Then you create a new styled component by just creating a variable called whatever. Then just equal styled dot the name of the tag, whether it's a div or a p tag or whatever it is. So that is how it's done. So let me create a new one. So const styled pricing card, right? Then equals styled dot. Let me make a div. Then the backticks, which is the key on top on the left of the one on your keyboard. So I just paste all these styles here, save it, and automatically it's how do I put it? It saves. Wow, looks nice, right? Yep, it looks nice. Looks nice. So that's the pricing card. Good, good. Looks nice. So let me just put in some demo content in here to see what we have. Oh, good. Coming together in Italy. So we have that here. Um, okay. What else? What else? So now let's think back for a moment, okay, and think of an efficient way to do something that is repetitive, because the goal of programming is to take care of repetitive items in a quicker way. So let's think of a way we can repeat this process and build all of these things quickly. So one approach is, instead of typing all of these things and pasting them here, we are going to save it in one place and then just use programming to replicate it and the design and everything, right? So we are going to spend time just building one and then create a system that automatically replicates it on this and this, and still have these things written here. So let's focus on building one. So we are going to focus on building just this one card and then just duplicate the process for the three cards. So the first thing we are going to do is, what do we do first? So it has this padding. Let's see, padding of 20. I think that has been taken care of, right? Yes. Okay. Because I just copied all the styles. It's not always that you copy all the styles, and it's not all the styles you copy. Stuff like width, you don't copy. You just copy the internal styles like the padding and stuff. But for this card, it's good to specify a width, because so that it maintains a consistent look on the pages, right? So yeah. Okay, so we need this. So let's call it I don't know, plan icon or something. Because there are three plans: standard, professional, and enterprise. So this is the standard plan. So plan icon. So once again, the emit, I just type a dot and then it gives me a div with that class, as you can see here. So plan icon, and then I paste the icon here, right? Okay, so let me just quickly check something. Okay, so there are two approaches. Either I reference it in as an image. Either I reference it in as an image and pass in the link to the icon as the source, right? Or I just reference the SVG and paste the SVG here. So which approach will I use this time? So for the landing page, I use the SVG approach because, and the reason is, it makes things very scalable. Let me give you an example. Productivity. Where did I even use it? I think the FAQs. Yes, yes, yes. So yes, so I added. So one thing I love about SVGs is that if you need SVGs, you can literally program them as JavaScript files, which is one beautiful thing SVGs allow you to do. So it's like it will give you an image, all right, but you can pass in JavaScript parameters to change the behavior. So for this chevron icon, for instance, as an SVG, I use JavaScript to wrap it, and then I called it chevron, and I added a width here, right, of size, a height of size. So anytime I need to use this image or SVG, I don't call the SVG, I just call the chevron, as I'm doing here. I just call the chevron, and then I pass in whatever parameters I need to pass. So if I need to change the width, I just pass it here and it does it for me. That's one beautiful reason why I love using SVGs in a JavaScript form, as you can see here. We may go into some of these topics later if needed for the front end team, but I'm just showing you for now. So let me just go with what everyone is most likely used to, which is just using an image and adding the SVG as the source, right? So give me a moment. Okay, so I've already imported image here. So One beautiful thing about VS Code is the moment you start typing maybe the name of the component, it finds everywhere you can get it and you choose. So next image. So I just copy the next image here. I pass a source to it. Let me use a temporary source, a temporary auth, and then just call it pricing. No, let me not call it anything for now. Let me just make it empty. So let me save that and see what we have. Um, they said image is missing required width property. Okay, so that's one annoying thing sometimes about Next.js, which is you need to specify image width and stuff like that. I really hate that sometimes. So let's okay, so but it's good actually, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so yeah, it's very easy because the images have fixed width 36, right? So width is 36, and then height is 36 as well. So it will stop screaming at us. Now they said it can't find this image, and that is true. So let's look for the image here. Rocket, right? So let me right click on copy relative path, and then paste it here. And then let's save that and see what we get. Okay, good. No errors, but I still can't find the image. That means it's not using the right path. So with Next.js, if anything is in a public folder, you don't need all of these. You just need to specify where it is. And voila, we have it here. Ain't that pretty? Okay, so we have the rocket icon here. You realize that all the images have this thing around it, right? Which is a 64 by 64 kind of like wrapper around it. But once again, always prefer to use padding over width and height so that the padding gives you the height and width by itself. So I'm just going to copy this background and border radius. So pricing card. So let me go in here. So within the pricing card wrapper, I have what pricing icon. Is that the name? A plan icon, sorry. So plan icon, and then just paste it here. Look for the corresponding color. Okay, so this shows that I haven't specified. This is weird. Hold on. This shows that I haven't specified that color in my variable. So in this case, I'm just going to use it like that. I won't use the root variables just to save time. Okay, so it's coming together neatly, right? But it's still not looking as expected because there's a padding around it. So when I hover over it, I can see there's a padding of what 14 pixels around it, 14 top, 14 bottom, and it says 14.33 on the left and 13.67 on the right. Sometimes these are just design inconsistencies, but if you add and subtract the left and right, you get 14, 14. So it's still 14. So let me give it a padding of 14. A padding of 14. Save that. And woo, looks beautiful, doesn't it? Good. Now we are done with this. Let's go down. So the spacing between this and then the bottom item is 8 pixels. So margin bottom of 8 pixels. I wish I was tracking this so that when I reach 1 hour, I can end it and do again, just in case this recording is fault or something. I don't know. Sometimes I don't trust machines. So when it's 2:30 my time, I'm going to end the recording and do a new one so that it's maybe part 1 and part 2 or something like that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we are going to do something. So I realized that it's like all of this is aligned to the left and all of this is aligned to the center. So I'm going to create one component that's just no one div that wraps all of these 3 items and call it text container, right? Yes, we already have a text container. Even let me see. Yes, we do. Just that it has a margin button we probably don't need for this um for this pricing card. So I'm going to call it pricing text container so that it doesn't inherit any previous styles. So let me call this pricing text container, right? and then paste all of this inside, and just copy this class here. Go into the pricing card and paste it here. Text align center, and let's see what we get. It still doesn't align it to the center like we want. That's bad, but don't worry, we'll probably fix it later. I don't know why, but we'll fix it later. Oh, okay. I just figured out why, but it's fine. Let's just keep the error for now. I'll explain why. Let's paste the standard. So the heading is what? H4, right? So, oh no. So let me go to my type file again. Look for H4. Okay, we have H4 here. Let me just confirm the font size 28, line height 36, line height, font size 28, line height. Oh wait, this is weird. Why is this? So it's not the same. It's not what I want. No, this is not what I want. But it's weird because I've used this for another page which had a different styling. So maybe, hold on. Okay, it seems I haven't. So maybe it's just this. Okay, then that's good. Because I thought since it's a shareable component, I thought I'll probably use it somewhere else. And if I change it here, it will affect it. But it doesn't look like I have, and that's a good thing. So I can update the styling now. Hopefully, it won't break anything. So I just wanted to be sure. If it was used somewhere else, I would have probably renamed this, and okay, it's not used anywhere else. So means these styles are just not accurate. So line height 1.29. Always, I prefer relative units. So 1.29, or let me just say 1.3, right? Font size of 28 pixels, H4, 28 pixels. Okay, so on mobile, let me make it 22 pixels. Yes, on mobile, let me 22 pixels. And for the line height, okay, let me just stick to 1.3 for mobile and desktop. Okay, so I've saved that, and now I come here. So this is standard, right? So type.h4. Once again, we have a central type file I created, but you can just paste that styles in here as well. So plan icon, outside the plan icon, we have type.h4. Okay, coming together. Okay, so 64. So one reason why we have this is because let's see. Okay, so it's 2:30 now, so I'm going to end this here, but I'm going to end this here and then do a new recording again to have the part 2 so that this recording isn't so long for one video.